And again, I think half our population, half our people
We're
don't
live.
consider stalking. It's like, yep, woot, hello. We are randomly chatting because that's what we do.
Good morning, good
Uh,
afternoon, good evening, and good night. But the neon streets of Dragon City never sleep. Welcome to the Dragon City Open. Before the race today, our racers will select their gear from a public table. It is first come, first serve. So may our racers roll initiative.
I suppose we can. That's a flight
That will
roll, I
be a
believe.
flight check.
I do not get any bonuses to. There's a reason I got pen and paper. I do get bonuses to. I stand corrected.
Oh, that's supposed to
That'll be a 14 from me.
that 7 was supposed to be from 1.
And yes, just as introductions go, because I'm Vokun. I've been watching Dragon Booster for a while now. I kind of helped with this whole system in its infancy, so yeah, I know a bit of things, forgotten a few things. GM Lightning, he's the main force behind this, and yeah, hopefully this one goes well. We would have more people, but time zones are a pain.
As for me, Vokun mentioned that I am Lightning. I am GMing this game, and Dragon Boost is just one of those hyperfixations that never really lets go of me. When I found the Kids on Bike system, it seemed perfect to adapt to a playable version of Dragon Booster. So I worked very hard on this race system. I hope you enjoy the show, and this will be a public once a month race. So if anyone feels like signing up or joining the Discord, there is a link down below in the description. It is not clickable because YouTube is annoying like that, but you can copy paste it into Discord and feel free to join the Discord. We have a ton of resources, art, character information, and all kinds of things over there. So, Vokun, you rolled the highest, so you get to select your 3 pieces of gear first.
All three at once. Okay. I think I will take one piece of level 1 aero gear. I need to fly.
Yep.
One level 1 thread thruster gear. Because again, just speed. Speed is good. And I'm going to go nice and simple for this one. I'll just take the white repel gear as well.
So you've
If I can spell
taken
this.
1 white aero gear, 1 white repel gear, and 1 red thruster gear.
That is correct.
Alright, so 1 rolled the next highest. He will take 1 level 1 red thruster gear. He will take 1 green ramming gear. And he will take 1 white repel gear. And that means last, and certainly least, Icub. Icub is a rich kid from Sun City who has a bit of a temper on him. These NPCs are from original tester races, and as people will learn, they themselves have quite the personality. Now, Icub is reckless and has a penchant for violence, so he is obviously going to be taking some green ramming gear. He still wants to win, so he's going to be taking some red thruster gear to get some speed on there as well. And he will be taking the orange drag box.
Yeah, of course he is.
As viewers will notice, the gear is in different amounts. So if someone else had chosen the orange drag box first, then Icub would not have had the chance to grab it.
Trying to say something here.
No, it's just everyone's
Yeah,
choice.
I know. I know.
Alright, with our racers all geared up, we shall make our way to the starting line. Today's race is a 12-leg race. Each leg consists of 10 10-meter squares, and you will learn all about gaining as we get into it. If our racers will all step up to the starting line.
Oh, I remember where the fuck I put my token. Right.
You may select where you would like to start on the starting line.
Okay, where do I get my tokens from again? I never remember.
If you go to the character sheets, which is the journal, the third tab, and then if you
Yeah,
click and drag.
there we go.
Yep.
I get there in the event eventually.
Alright, and for the second time of the day, all of our racers will roll a flight check to determine who will start running first.
Okay.
And this will apply their dragon's bonuses if they have any. Icub gets a +2 bonus to flight for having a white dragon.
And I need to let my character sheet load up again. Apparently not wanted to
And
do.
one, along with Sweet Pea, his green dragon, gets no bonuses to flight.
And I get +2 due to the hybrid, which is a whole thing to explain. It is in the rules. Yeah.
Alright, so sitting at a 19 means that you will be going first.
Woo. Did that actually go anywhere? No? Okay, that's just roll20 being roll20. Okay, roll20 is being a nuisance. Okay, let's see if I remember how to play this. Let's
So
start
you
with
will.
a simple
So your first
game.
flight roll gets your gain.
Yeah,
So you gain to what your first flight roll was.
yeah. 19. What's my movement on that one?
Which will be. Sorry, as you can tell, this is a test stream, and first time we are running it live.
So please forgive any mistakes, fumbles, etc.
Luckily, I titled everything correctly in the rule set. There's a link on the Discord, and It is self-updating, so anytime the rules update, that will update along with it, and you can just click on the title of a section to go straight to that section. So, 19 will be a gain of 4 dragon lengths automatically.
Fantastic. Um, plus and bonus for for my current energy, yes?
So that does not apply to the very first,
Right. Okay.
so to the initiative
I see.
gain. So the initiative gain, you just get to go your distance, and then you get to have your 2 actions.
Alright, I shall simply move out to here. So that's my 4 spaces.
Other direction.
Other direction? Other direction. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just start racing backwards. I'm sure I'll get there eventually.
We will be going
Um,
anti-clockwise.
okay. Cool.
This looping
In that
track is
case,
also a test.
yep. So in that case, I will now just gain again because now the other races are catching up. So that is
Yep, and so this is your first official gain of the turn, which means the DC is 0.
20 plus 2 for my dragon type, and that didn't work. Fantastic. I would use my character sheet, but it's playing silly buggers. That's a 3.
And that will be a gain of 1 dragon length.
And now this is why I can apply energy bonus 2, yes?
Yes, you can apply your energy bonus now.
Which is max energy divided by 6, or
Yep,
current energy divided by 6.
that is
So that'll be
correct.
6. So I'll take 7. Um, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Now does gaining cost me energy is what I need to remember.
Using the energy bonus takes 1 energy.
Okay.
So in the starting races, in the rookie class races, all races start with 36 energy total.
And that does not replenish throughout the game if I remember correctly.
There are ways to get back energy, but it does not
But
replenish
none natural.
naturally through the race.
Yeah. Okay. I am simply going to try and gain again.
Now,
Nice.
this gain will have a DC of 10.
That's not a roll command, that's just me saying I want to roll 1d20. That's a 7. That is nope. Nope.
And you may
That's a no.
take an adversity token for the roll fail.
Do we start with 3?
Yes. So in the Kids on Bike
Okay.
system, you do start with 3 adversity tokens to start out. Any roll fail, so any roll where you do not meet the DC, you will gain an adversity token, which is a flat +1 you can add to any roll.
Alright, that is my 2 actions done.
Alright, next up is Icub. So he will also get to start by taking 4 spaces. And then he will take his first action of the turn, where he will gain. Any actions involving just the dragon will only apply dragon bonuses. I forgot to change over the thing, but that is for Icub. So he gets to gain by 3 lengths. And then he gets his energy bonus, which is 6 for the first use of the race. should have been.
Funny thing about goblin players is they're all
Yeah.
but they have to do that because of how goblins work.
That means he will lose 1 energy. Which you can use these handy dandy boxes to keep track of everyone's energy.
This one here, this represents 13.
If you right click on your token, it'll pop up a little circles, and you can enter into those to keep track of your energy. Now then, for his second action of the turn, Ikub is going to gain again, and this time he is going to activate his red thruster gear to try and get a big lead ahead of the other races. Now, when using gear, gear compatibility comes into it. That is determined by your dragon's color. Dragons will match their natural color unless they are a hybrid, and other than that, they have a list of compatible colors which get applied in your dragon section. Since white dragons are compatible with red, that means that they only lose 2 energy per activation per 2 levels of gear. Since this is only level 1 gear, he will only lose 2 energy for the activation of the gear. And red thrust gear has a distance bonus in addition. So per level, it will, in addition to adding to the roll, 1 for the level of the gear and 2 for Ikub's dragon's natural bonuses. Whatever he rolls, he will get an additional 1 unit of distance. And DC was 10. So Ikub does in fact get to go 2 units of distance. 1 moment please, I will be right back.
Yeah, the fun of working. Even on weekends, we might get calls. I might as well take this time to explain hybrids. So, due to, well, basic theory crafting, we have a habit of that. If you know what we're on about, congratulations. Um, so with hybrids, you pick 2 different colors. You, there we go. So pick your 2 colors that you're going to hybridize together. And the way it generally works is you, depending on the rarity of your dragon, determines how much or how many points they can contribute per dragon color attribute effectively. Um, so, for example, a um, a Psi class black dragon could give you um, +1 to kind of any yeah any given attribute. +2 to from your legendary, from your rare, +3 from your legendaries that you get to pick. So yeah, for example, a Side Black can give you +1 grit or +1 charm. A Sky class White Dragon could give you +2 flight or +1 fight and +1 grit. But your legendaries, you can only pick 3, basically. Mainly just so those don't rule the world. When it comes to colors, then they do not match. So because it's a hybrid, there is no matching gear for them. So any gear equipped will either drain +2 or +3 energy. When it comes to which colors they're compatible with, you go through a list for each species you're hybridizing. You round up, you take half of them rounded up, and you apply that to. You can choose how many the compatibilities out of that, including your match. Um, the exception to that is the legendary dragons, so your bone and star class, your grey and gold dragons, which only get half of them rounded down for some folk that get all of them. I'm probably making a mess of that explanation, but that's the general rundown of hybrids. There is an example in the Discord if you are interested. There's also plenty of rules in here for basically running a full campaign if that's what you want to do, but for this, to kind of just keep it relatively simple and open, it is just races.
I am back. Sorry about that inconvenience right there.
No worries. I was just trying to do a very bad explanation of hybrid dragons.
That's right. I thought it was a very good explanation of hybrid dragons.
Why, thank you.
And we are up to 1, which means I will actually be rolling as the correct person.
Did Ikub move?
Uh, he
Because he
gets,
hasn't actually moved.
sorry, 2 spaces of movement. 1 for the
Oh,
movement bonus of the gear, and 1 for the success.
fantastic. Now, back to 1. 1 and Sweet Pea, who has a little bit of history from our test game. Um, if this continues, we might quietly unveil bits of that as we go. But suffice it to say that 1 and Sweet Pea became favorites of the test group for various reasons.
Sweet Pea is very popular. Everyone loves Sweet Pea.
Everybody
Even
loves Sweet
people that have just had Sweet Pea described to them love Sweet Pea.
Pea. Mm-hmm.
Affectionately called the fastest green dragon. But not today, unfortunately. Sweet Pea lagging
Oh,
behind, only getting
that's a
1
shame.
space of movement before her 6 from the energy bonus. But Sweet Pea also got some red thruster gear, and will be pulling the same maneuver as Ikub did. Rolling a flight with a +1 from the gear. And again, green dragons are also compatible with red gear, which means it will only cost Sweet Pea 2 energy to do so. And as Sweet Pea is at the back of the pack, Sweet Pea will also be not having any DC on this check. DC for gaining on the second action of the turn is determined by how far away the next dragon in the pack, how far away the next dragon in the pack is from you. And Sweet Pea gets a 6. So Sweet Pea will be gaining 2 dragon lengths for the 6 over, for the 4 to 6 over DC, because DC was 0, and will also be gaining an additional space. 3 spaces for Sweet Pea. That brings us into the next round of movement, which, as people will learn, is determined by actual position on the racetrack. People may have noticed that we don't have an initiative tracker up. That is because initiative will change almost every round. The further ahead you are in the race, the sooner you get to go. And then now that the first round is over, we can also introduce passive gain. So after each dragon takes their actions, every other racer will get to gain 1 space.
Woo.
And that will be Icub moving first. First gain of the turn has a DC of 0.
So Icub gets to go rocketing ahead into a wall. Oh, shit, son of a... Sorry.
And Icub gets a massive success, meaning that not only does he get to go 4 dragon lengths, he also gets to move an additional 2. Because he technically got 20 over the DC. Now, usually, he would now apply his energy bonus, but you don't have to apply energy bonus to the first gain of the turn. You can save it for the second gain of the turn. As Icub has hit a wall, it would be a waste to use that gain now. As when you hit a wall, or any kind of obstacle, any remaining gain is lost. But rolling the obstacle does not count as an action of your turn. It is just a roll as they come up. Now, this is a large, heavy obstacle, a large, heavy barrier, which means that Icub has the choice of trying to jump over it, which will be a DC of 10, or smash through it, which will be a DC of 6. Icub is going to try and jump over with a flight check. And he does make it over, landing on the other side, and then he gets to gain by how much he rolled over the DC, which for 4 means gaining an additional 2 dragon lengths.
Lightning.
Yep.
Did you change the stream back?
Oh, I forgot to change the stream back. Lovely.
We're professionals. We've been doing YouTube for how long now?
I think it might be muted when it's not on stream.
We are definitely professionals.
Well, there's no
'Cause
viewers
when
to
did...
have seen that mistake. They'll hear about it later,
Yeah.
but let's just pop Icub back here.
Just do a summary.
So Icub started by gaining for the turn, reached the wall. DC to jump the wall was 10, DC to smash through the wall was 6. He selected to jump over the wall. He managed to jump over the wall and beat the DC by 4, which means he got to gain an additional 2 spaces. And you roll hazards as you encounter them. They do not count as an action of your turn. As you can see, hazards can lead to dragons getting quite far ahead. Now Icub is going to just passive gain, no gear activation, but he is going to have to hit a DC of 13. So
Okay,
definitely
going down with red boost
possible.
rolls.
And he does, but he only gets to move one space. Next up in the order is Bukun.
Passive gain for end of movement.
Yes, everyone gets to move one space, passive gain for the end of movement.
Okay. I am going to start by doing a simple gain. If I can spell that correctly. Just do that for now. That will be an 18. So that's 4 spaces of movement.
Yep, 4 spaces of movement, and then your energy bonus if you would like to use it.
I would, so I'm now down to an energy bonus of 5 because I'm below 36. So 1, 2, 3. Hello, sweet pea. 4. Drop my energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second action, I will just gain again because there's not much point in activating anything at the moment.
Yep, and DC on this check will be 5.
But did I just roll a... Ignore that because I rolled a 1d30 somehow.
Character sheet still having trouble?
Yeah. I'm also not going to complain about the change in result. So I'm just going to move up to the wall.
So you can jump the wall for a DC of 10, or you can smash through it for a DC of 6.
6 things are gonna happen.
Never mind, I'm just going to try and jump.
Wait, motherfucker.
That's a 13.
Alright, jump the wall and get to gain 1 space.
Fantastic. And that will be the end of my turn. So passive gain for everybody else.
So the passive gain at the end of each player's turn is a system I came up with to keep everyone moving. Make it give the feeling of movement for the race. Now we have lovely Sweet Pea bringing up the rear.
I'm more fine with the 4.
Are we going to
Doctor Who.
see how she got her nickname yet, or are we saving that for a little bit?
Oh, Sweet Pea is
Well,
just...
I suppose she's already done it once.
Yeah, Sweet Pea's used her red thruster gear once already, which she will be using it again. So, flight with a bonus of 1 for the level 1 red thruster gear. But it looks like Sweet Pea is having a slow day today. She gains
Oh well.
1 space for the roll, 1 space for the thruster gear bonus. Catching up on the energy loss earlier that I forgot to do. And then Sweet Pea will gain again. Once again, still using her red thruster gear. So, just maintaining the activation, which will also cost 2 energy. So she gets a +1 again. and gets a 6, which will be 2 lengths for the roll, 1 length for the movement bonus. And then everyone else gets their passive movement of 1 space.
Boo.
And then we are back to Icub at the front of the pack.
For now.
His dragon is very fast, as white dragons tend to do.
Sorry.
And instead of gaining for his first action of the turn,
Oh
Icub
dear.
is going to activate the orange drag box.
Yep.
So that is going to be a fight check for Icub. Oh, actually, that should be a brains check for gear activation. Because he is just pressing a button, it's not going to be very hard. So I'm going to set DC to 2. And it does not go well. As people may have gathered, Icub is not a smart boy. So that takes 2 energy for the gear activation. And Icub fumbles it royally. The orange drag box opens, and the tiny gear munching dragons are actually going to end up on his flip a coin here. Red thruster gear.
Oh dear.
Icub's red thruster gear is now damaged and may misfire when used. It is still attached. And he has the option of using the second action of his turn to try and get the orange dragons off his red thruster gear, or he can just try gaining. As Icub is reckless, he is going to just gain. He is going to try activating his red thruster gear, which this is the first gain of the turn, so DC is 0, as he did not gain on his first move. But I am going to set the DC to 5 for if his gear misfires. So if he gets anything lower than 5, he will not gain.
Survey says
He
oh,
does get to
okay.
gain. His gear will activate, he will gain 4 spaces. He will gain the 1 space for the gear bonus, and then he has hit a hole. Now this is a small 25-meter hole. Any dragon should be able to jump over it without any gear needed. but Icub is going to try and keep it going, which is going to make the gear more likely to misfire. So he is now going to have to beat a 10, or his gear will misfire. And that did not go well.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we had anyone fall out on the floor on the test game.
Icub's gear has misfired. It has turned backwards, stopping him from jumping across this very easy to jump gap, leaving him to fall into the hole. He will need to roll a grit check, DC of 7, to get out, because that is how much he missed the DC from before. His dragon does give him a +1 grit. He does not succeed. Icub is now stuck in a hole.
What a shame.
Everyone else gets to have their passive 1 space of movement, and then it is Vokun's turn.
I am going to gain with some red thruster gear if nobody minds.
That is absolutely fine.
Which will cost me 2 points of energy. That is a 16 on success. So that's 3 spaces of movement.
16, you get 4 spaces of movement.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So being over
Plus
by 10 plus
1.
gets 4 spaces of movement.
Yep. So that's +1. I will do a standard gain, I think. Just to get to the hole.
Did you apply your energy bonus? Because I believe
Not
that
this one.
would get you to the hole without needing
It
to use
would,
your
but I'd
second
lose.
action.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if it would be worth doing it now or worth doing it after the hole. I would have to do it, so no. Yeah, no, fair. I will use my energy bonus, so that is another 5 down to whatever. So I am at the hole.
Yep.
So I will roll a flight check. No bonus, no gear activation for this.
And DC to get over the hole is only 4.
How are you expanding them out like that?
I'll take an 11.
That
Good.
is. And then after your success, you get to gain by the amount you were over. DC was 4,
That's
you got 11, so that means you are
that's a
7
difference of
over.
7, so
So you get
2,
to gain 3 dragon lengths.
3. Cool, and I believe I still have an activation left. So, or an action left, I should say.
Yep, and you still have a full
Yep.
action left.
I will do a standard gain. I need to include the slash of
Oh
9.
Jesus!
What was my DC?
DC is not met.
DC is not met. I will just take the adversity.
That is good.
I didn't
And that'll be
do
the end of my turn.
anything.
Okay. So, Sweet Pea gets the passive gain. Icub, stuck in a hole. Sweet Pea has reached the barrier on her passive gain, which means that this is outside of her turn. She gets to roll the hazard. Sweet Pea is going to bust through the wall. That was
Joys of
a
being green.
DC of 6, I believe I set it to, for a heavy barrier.
Yep.
And Sweet Pea gets a brawn bonus from being a green dragon. Sweet Pea
Yeah.
crashes through the wall, leaving
Same Pea, the
debris
Kool-Aid dragon.
behind her,
Sweet Pea, the great,
and
the
taking out this
dragon.
section of wall.
Woo.
Sweet Pea then gets to gain by the amount she was over the DC, which was 3, so that's only 1 additional dragon length. And now it is Sweet Pea's turn on the opposite side of the wall.
Yes, for clarity, when we say hazard, you encounter hazards as you meet them. At any point, if you encounter a hazard, you roll for it.
So if you encounter a hazard from your passive gain, you roll that hazard. Even if it is the middle of another player's turn, the hazard gets rolled first with priority.
Which can happen.
Well, it wouldn't be the middle of a player's turn because the passive gain happens at the end of a player's turn.
Yeah, but if you really wanted, you could probably drag someone into one.
If you do want, you can drag someone into one with certain types of gear, that is correct.
Figured out how to do it.
Now, Sweet Pea is going to gain. And she is going to use her red thruster gear. Now, people may notice that I say Sweet Pea is going to use her red thruster gear. Throughout the events of the test races, Sweet Pea gained some semblance of sentience and learnt how to activate her thruster gear on her own.
The rest are all goblins.
One is not a fan of the red thruster gear, but Sweet Pea just loves it oh so much, and one loves his dragon so much that he just doesn't have the heart to keep the red thruster gear away from her. So, Sweet Pea is going to gain 3 dragon lengths for the success, 1 dragon length for the movement bonus, and then she is going to gain 4 for the energy bonus. As after the gear activation, she only has 29 energy. And then after the energy bonus, she has 28.
Hang on, can isn't used to specific types of tabletop, I believe. It can.
Then Sweet Pea is just going to basic gain, no gear, no bonuses. There's a hole right in front of her. She gets to the hole. Now, Sweet Pea is going to need all the help she can get with this hole. Yes, it is a hole that any dragon can jump over, but as we can tell, Sweet Pea's been having a little bit of trouble getting started today. So Sweet Pea is going. So one is going to use the white repel gear to grab the other side of the hole and help Sweet Pea get over, in addition to activating the red thruster gear. This will cost Sweet Pea 5 energy to do, but it will give Sweet Pea a bonus of 3 and an additional movement space of 1 after after her hazard gain.
Assuming she makes it.
Well, she only has to hit a 4, you see.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The only reason Icub struggled was because he did not take the time to get those orange dragons off of his red thruster gear.
I really wish I may have gotten more tokens.
And Sweet Pea gets a 10. So Sweet Pea
No,
makes it
I
across
really
the
wish he
hole,
had,
leaping
so that
with
he just lost
the
all
most
the
gracefulness,
tokens.
getting a boost from her red thruster gear, and getting pulled forward by the white repel gear. She is going to have 23 energy remaining. And then she gets to gain an additional 2 spaces.
What's up?
As people can see, you can catch up pretty quickly. Everyone else
Okay.
gets their passive gain for the end of Sweet Pea's turn.
Except for the one stuck in the hole.
Stuck in a hole.
Hmm.
Okay, it is Vokun's turn.
Excellent. I think. What am I doing? I will simply gain to start with.
Ulrich let Max in, and
Yep.
Max knows how to work the ancient magic.
That will be a 21. So that's 4, I believe.
So you get 4, and then because you got
Plus the 5.
over 20, you will get a +2.
Your floating cards, I have no idea what happened
6. Plus the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my energy boost.
Yep.
Bonk.
You've been conserving that energy.
Oh, yes.
You have hit a
there.
50-meter hole.
The same thing that happened to Onion.
Excellent. This is why I saved my energy. That would be a
So,
combination of red thruster and white arrow gear. To clear the hole.
so this hole will be a DC of 6.
Yeah, the playing field's been rotated ever so
Excellent.
slightly.
And I get 1 from the red thruster. Do I get a bonus from the arrow gear?
Yes, arrow gear also gives a movement bonus. So you'll get 1 additional space for each level of red thrust gear and for each level of white arrow gear.
That's a 19.
So DC was 7, I said? Or 6?
6.
6. DC was 6, so you soar over the hole. You get to gain by 4 for the hazard gain, and then you get an additional 2 spaces.
Yep. I'm also did all that in, I believe, 1 action.
Yes, because you hit the hazard in 1 action, and then you had your hazard gain.
Cool.
So
I'm
you
just
have your
going to
second action.
gain again. No bonuses to this one.
Yep.
No, wait, no gear activation.
Onions
Um,
now it's over.
do I move 2?
Yeah, so because it's coming up as blue.
Oh, you rolled the 16?
Just a little bit
I
more.
rolled a 16.
So, DC, sorry, while I measure here.
Yeah, it max range.
DC was 20.
Yeah, a little bit further.
Okay. Hmm. I will just take the adversity.
That's fair.
I should really start using this at some point. That'll be the end of my turn.
Sweet Pea gets her passive gain. Now, Sweet
Hiccup
Pea,
is still stuck in a hole.
that is because Ickup has not had a turn yet. It's only been one. It's only been a round and a half.
You'll be able to reset
Yeah.
it just fine.
So
Otherwise,
it
kids
has
I get stuck in
not
holes.
managed to catch up to him yet because he fell in the hole and then you overtook, and then Sweet
Yeah.
Pea came up from behind, and then we hit the new round.
Yeah.
So he is going to be moving last this round, trying to get out of the hole.
Mm.
And I'm sure he is regretting that orange drag box now.
Yep.
So,
Do I have compatibility with orange?
Sweet Pea is going to gain.
Oh, shit, they do. Okay.
He gets an additional 3 spaces from energy bonus. Then Sweet Pea is going to gain again.
Yes. They're in
DC is
play
10.
zones. Play zones of another table.
And that's a
And
nope.
DC does. Sweet Pea does not succeed. She takes the adversity and gets to stay where she is. End of Sweet Pea's
Cool.
turn, you get to take your passive gain.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very fixable after the match.
Now,
Easily fixable. It's just,
Icub,
while you're in the match.
stuck in a hole. He did not get thrown off his dragon, so they are currently standing on a safety net in the bottom of the hole. We don't want
They're
anyone
being
to get
kind at the
hurt
gods.
here.
Mm.
This is rookie level racing after all, not academy stuff. So, safety features abound.
As long as it's not the Leap Glorious.
Well, I mean, there's supposed to be a safety net down there. Somewhere.
He thinks.
So, Icub is going to have to start by getting those orange dragons off his red thruster gear. Especially if he wants to use it again. So, he is going to have to, I'm going to say grit and DC 3. Just to shake them off there. He's hopped off his dragon, he's gone to the back, and he's just manually picking them off.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a bonus of 1 from his dragon, because his dragon's going to shake and help him out. He does manage to remove
Hey,
the orange dragons.
good for him.
His gear is still damaged and may misfire. But he's just going to try jumping straight back up out of the hole. DC of 6. And he does it.
Hey, he's free.
He has leapt out of the hole. He gets to gain for the equivalent of rolling a 6, which will be 2 dragon lengths, because that's what he got over the DC.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his 2 actions.
Yep.
So everyone else gets their passive gain.
And I believe I encounter this wall.
That is correct. It is the same size as before, so that you can jump over it for a DC of 10, or smash through it for a DC of 6.
I'm going to try and jump over it. That's a 13.
Yep.
Do I get any extra out of that?
You get 1 additional dragon length.
Woot. Cool, that's that resolved. I believe it's the start of my turn.
Yep, that is correct. It is the new round and the
Excellent.
start of your turn.
I will simply try to gain. That will be a 15.
Yep.
And I'll
So
use
you
my
gain
energy boost
4
for this one.
dragon lengths.
That'd be 4 plus 4, and 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. I'm going to try it again, although I suspect the DC is going to be quite high.
DC is going to be quite high. DC will be 18.
18. Okay. That's a 4.
You are going nowhere.
I'll just take the adversity.
Everyone else gets their passive gain. Next up, it is Sweet Pea's turn. Sweet Pea is going to start by straight gaining.
Fair enough. There's a gap.
There's a big hole right in front of her. She's going to get to the hole. Once again, Sweet Pea is going to utilize both pieces of gear. The level 2 white repel and the level 1 red thruster gear. For a cost of 5 energy to give a bonus of 3 to the check to get across. And that was a DC of 7.
6.
6? 6.
6.
7 for Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is a green dragon.
Yes.
They're
Fair
not as jumpy as regular dragons. So green dragons struggle on jumps. So DC
well.
of obstacles may be different depending on the dragon's color or abilities.
Yep.
Sweet Pea does make it.
Hooray for Sweet Pea.
She gets the other side. She gains an additional space. And then Sweet
+1
Pea.
for the thruster.
And then +1 for the thruster as well. Then Sweet Pea is going to Sweet Pea is down to 17 energy. She is going to keep the thruster going for a cost of 2. And move to gain around the corner. DC for this will exist, so DC 13. So bonus of 1. And Sweet Pea is going to add Sweet Pea is going to roll and then possibly add some adversity tokens.
There.
Sweet Pea is going to not bother adding adversity tokens. She is going to get 1 space from the red thruster gear. She is going to gain another adversity token. And that is the end of Sweet Pea's turn, so everyone else gets their passive gain.
Yep.
Now, Icub, coming up from behind, is going to gain and gets a 20. So he will get 4 spaces, +2 for being 20 over DC, and then is going to get his energy gain bonus which will be an additional 4. Then he is going to straight gain again. And hit the hole.
Hopefully it doesn't fall into this one as well.
Yes. So he is going to activate his red thruster gear. He is going to need to get a... Since he hasn't activated his red thruster gear for a while, I'm going to say that he only needs to get an 8 or higher. But he doesn't get any bonuses because his gear may misfire. But if it goes through, he gets the bonus movement. So he makes it to the other side. He gets 1 space for being over. He gets 1 space for the additional movement of his red thruster gear.
Huzzah. Then I believe that's the end of his turn.
That is correct. So he's now down to 25 energy. Everyone else gets their passive gain.
A different table.
Woot. Which, yes, I have done.
Yep. And it is your turn.
Fantastic. I am just going to try and gain. There's a hole ahead.
That is correct.
That's a 7. How many will I get out of that?
3 lengths.
How much more do I need to get 4?
Buttons just deal with the stuff in.
So you would need to get a 10.
So because it's sitting over.
I'll burn 3 adversity tokens for that.
Yep, that's fine.
But Max's button.
So take your
Boom.
4 movement and burn your adversity tokens. You have reached the
Yep.
hole.
Excellent. I'm going to try and fly over this
Yep.
normally.
And it's just a small hole, so DC 3, I believe I set the last one too.
You can.
I don't remember, and that's a 12.
Swap to yellow, yeah.
That's fine.
Buttons work again.
You very much clear it,
Yep.
and you get to gain by 3 lengths on the other side.
Fantastic. And because I feel like being what's the opposite of thrifty? With my energy, I'm
You want
going
to burn your energy?
1d20 plus the red thruster.
So, and DC will be quite high.
At that point. Yeah, what is the DC? Before I say I'm going to burn thruster, what is the DC first?
Well, if you use the thruster, you'll get 1 space no matter what.
Yeah.
But DC will be 24.
Yeah.
So close, yet so far.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to burn the energy. That is a +3 on my thing. That is a 16. I will just take the 1 space for the thruster gear, burn the energy, and the adversity token.
Okay.
I'm done.
Everyone else gets their passive gain.
So yes, there are consequences for being so far ahead.
Yes, there are. Now it is Sweet Pea's turn. Sweet Pea is going to gain. I rolled the wrong everything.
Yeah.
Ideally, in future, there will be more players, and I won't have to manage 2 NPCs.
Mm.
But there we go. That's a much more reasonable number.
Yep.
So Sweet Pea hits the wall, and Sweet Pea is going to smash right through the wall.
Because the joys of being a bull class dragon.
And Sweet Pea smashes through the wall. No additional bonus.
Yeah, just steal my field onion.
And it is worthy of note that the reason we mark the broken parts of wall with X is because once it's smashed down, it's free for other dragons to use.
That is
So
correct.
another benefit from being behind is you can just walk through it without any rolls.
Yep. No hazard, no loss of gain. And then
Although if you want to encounter it, you could just go find an unbroken one.
Sweet Pea is going to gain again, DC 5. And she's going to use her red thruster gear. Sweet Pea is not doing so well today. So Sweet Pea loses that energy. She gets 1 space for the red thruster gear, but no additional spaces. And she gets an adversity token. Then Ichab's turn.
Ooh. Let's see if he can catch up.
There's always a chance.
Hmm.
So Ichabod is going to just gain 12.
Reasonable?
1, 2, 1, 2. Going straight through that hole. And then it gets an additional 4 from the
That's
energy
what she
bonus. Going to just go around Sweet Pea.
Oh, that's
He's more
unusually
concerned
kind
with
of him.
winning than doing a violence right now, considering how far
Hmm.
behind he is. And then he is going to gain again. DC is only 2. And that's an 18. So he gets to go 4 lengths. 1, 2. At the end of Ichab's turn, everyone else gets their passive gain. And that is Vokun's turn.
Excellent. Let's see if I can possibly win this. Burning the red thruster gear again.
Yep.
So that will be roll 1d20 plus 3. That is a 16. That
You
will
get
get
4
me
spaces and 1 space for the red thruster gear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 3 from the energy bonus. 1, 2, 3. That's across the finish line.
That is across the finish line.
Woo!
Congratulations on coming first.
But we're trying to keep this PG, man. Wait, what? Yeah, that one's on me. Sorry.
Now it is a race for second place. Icub has come up in the order, which means that Icub will be going next. And gets a 20. So 1, 2,
Ah, nice.
3, 4. And a bonus 2 for being 20 over. And he gets energy bonus. To hit the hole. He will jump the hole. I believe I set the DC to 4 before.
3 or 4, yeah.
As I said, difficulty can be different depending on the type of dragon, so it is completely up to GM's discretion.
Yeah, it is.
Although in this case you can use DM for Dragon Master.
I think word pain might dispute that one.
And a
Word pain
19.
wishes to
So
dispute that one.
soars over the hole, gets an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces of movement. Sweet Pea gets her passive movement for the end of turn. Although it's not the end of turn yet, because Icub still has another
Action.
which again will be a gain. And that does not meet the DC.
Nope.
Then Sweet Pea, bringing up the rear. She stalled at the start, and she's stalled again now.
Still, that's a 9.
And then 2 for the energy bonus. And then gain again. And activate the red thruster gear this time. And it's a 9 again. And 1 for the red thruster gear bonus.
Did you get a passive movement from when Icub finished?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I gave it
Yep.
early.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then it is back to Icub's turn. With passive movement from the end of Sweet Pea.
It's up to.
And that puts him across the line.
Yeah, welcome to the finish line, mate.
That means that Icub has come in second, leaving Sweet Pea to come in third.
Because we can either watch this play out or just accept third.
I'll just bring Sweet Pea up to the end to hang out with everyone else. So, generally today's race was mostly just a tutorial, so that people can watch it, see how they feel about the mechanics, and get involved if they want to. We will be, as I said, running a race once a month. It will be live streamed here on YouTube. The Discord link is in the description below, so you can head over to Discord if you have any additional questions or anything like that. We are
There's a little
happy.
Q&A channel for you.
There's a Q&A channel for any specific questions. I often hang out in the general chat. There's an art
And yeah,
channel where you can put art of your dragon or your rider. And
if you want to
if this is
participate, there's
something,
a
yeah,
oh, Karen.
if this is something that gets a build up of interest and gets a more regular group, then there may even be possibilities for running campaigns outside of races further down the line, or even having a gear shop instead of the first come first serve gear pool.
So yeah, um, jump in, have a look around, ask questions, and usually one of us will get back to you at some point. Um, don't try and go off time zones because some of us work weird hours. Um, and yeah, if a time doesn't suit you, let us know. Um, we'll generally try to work to get as many people in as we can. Um, when's the next race?
So the next race is set to happen on the 12th of May. That will be, and it will be an opposite time to today. So today was 9 a.m. Australian time. The next one will be 6 p.m. Australian time. So that should rotate all the time zones nicely and give people more opportunity
Goblin.
if today was an ungodly time.
And yes, when we say once a month, it means that there will be one within a month. Depending on schedules may dictate if the gap between them is maybe three
More
weeks,
or
4 weeks,
less.
5 weeks. It may fluctuate as we go. It will always be in the events section of the Discord channel. So that's not a channel or Discord server, sorry. It's not a channel. It is a little calendar icon above the channel list. And that will give you the details in your time zone. So you can kind of get an idea of when this is going to happen and whether or not you can make it. Yeah, that's really about it that I can think of.
I hope everyone who's tuned in has had a fun time,
Yep,
and
more tunes in later. Either
we
or.
encourage you to sign up for a dragon race in the future if you are interested.
Yep. Um, yeah.
Have
That's
a
it.
good day,
Hope you had fun.
everyone. Good
Auf
morning,
Wiedersehen.
good afternoon, good evening.